Hello there everyone, welcome to my garage. Today we're going to do a little tutorial on changing a bike tire. This one particularly on a child's bike tire. This one's a 12-inch tire. The tires on this bike are really old and just need to be replaced. They're all cracked and just in bad shape. This is an old hand-me-down bike, been handed down several times from one kid to another. And finally the other day my 3-year-old daughter was riding on it and the tire just blew out, and so it's time to change them. And the reason I want to make this video is I was looking on YouTube for a little help on removing the original tire and then putting the new tire on, because I was having a really difficult time doing it on the back tire and I couldn't find anything that had any helpful hints really. So I thought maybe there's other people out there like me that would like some hints on how to make this process a little bit easier. So I decided I'd make a video to help you guys. Anyway, here's the bike, and we'll get into changing the tire. Some of the things you're going to need, or that are going to help make the job easier anyway, is first of all we're going to need a wrench of some kind to remove the tire, unless you of course have a bike with the quick release on it, which that you know, you just lift the lever and spin it and take it off super easy. So I have this nice little ratcheting wrench that works really well. If you don't have one of these, because I'm assuming not everybody has one like this, a good old adjustable crescent wrench like this is perfect for the job as well. Some of the other things that would be helpful are these tire levers. You can get these at REI, or I think even Walmart sells them, like back in the bike section, stuff like that. Bike shops that you might have, local bike shops will definitely have these. So these help a lot. I got a pair of needle nose pliers. You don't necessarily need one of these. I feel like it just makes pulling the stem through on the tube once you put the new tube in. Because I'm going to change out the tube here today too. It just helps to have that where you can just pull it through the hole and be done. Some of the other things that might make the job a little bit easier today, I'm going to use a long-handled flathead screwdriver. And I'll talk a little bit more about this later. You don't always want to use one of these because it could puncture your tire, or it's going to more easily puncture a hole in your tube, really. But I'll show you later on why I want this. And then I have this little hammer, but I'm mostly just going to be using this end to help me reseat the tire onto the rim. And then of course, if you're changing out the actual tire itself, like I am in this video, you need a new tire. And then I've also got a new tube to put inside. And this box is humongous for a 12-inch tube. I'm used to my road bike, and the box is probably about that big for a tube. Anyway, let's get to changing the tire, huh? Alright, the first thing we're going to do is remove the old tire. Just take your wrench and just loosen the bolts up. Simple as that. Now once you've got the bolts removed, you can easily lift and remove the tire. Alright, for this next part, we're going to take the cap off, and then we're going to, if you have air still in the tire, of course you want to get that out of there. I'm going to use this tire lever right here. Just poke it right here. Just let the air out. If you guys don't have the tire lever, the other thing that will work is the screwdriver. You just take the tip of the head of the screwdriver there, just let the air out. Get that all nice and out of there. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our tire levers to remove the old tire from the rim. So first you got to get in here, kind of pull the tire back out of the way, so you can get your tire lever in there and get it underneath that lip of the tire and pop it out. And then the tire levers usually have these little ends on them where you can hook them onto the spoke like that, so then it kind of holds it in place. If you don't have tire levers, you can of course use the flathead screwdriver. You know, the problem that you can have with the flathead screwdriver though is when you're digging in here, because it's kind of sharp, you could pop your tube, you know, gouge your tube out, and then if you don't, and then you either got to patch the tube, or if it's bad enough, you just got to get a new tube. So anyway, and then you just kind of take your other tire lever or screwdriver here. I'll just use a screwdriver for now since I got it in my hand. And you kind of got to go around and do the same thing here and pry your tire up off of the rim. And now I've found, for me, I had a hard time on the other tire getting it off on this small of a tire, because they've got these steel bands that, you know, or some kind of, I don't know if it's steel, but some kind of metal band that runs around that of course doesn't stretch really easily. So of course it's very difficult. And then with this long-handled screwdriver, I get a lot better leverage and pull, you know, in removing it, whereas the shorter tire levers, it's a lot harder to do it. So if you're having a hard time doing it with tire levers, try the screwdriver. Now that we've got that side all off, we'll pull the tube. And of course, to get the tube out, first you got to take out the end with the valve stem. Get that out of there. So you just pop, you know, you have to, of course, push it up to get it through the hole. You know, pull it back this way to get it out the hole, and then you can pop it up like that, and then you can just remove the entire tube all at once. There it is. Okay, now we're getting the old tire off the rim entirely. That was another thing, of course, I had trouble with. Trying to do it with tire levers is very difficult. So I switched to this long-handled screwdriver, and it made a big difference for me. It's like just getting it started is kind of the trickiest part, because you got to get past the lip of the rim. If I can do that. Let's see here, I'm going to try tire lever first. There we go. So I don't know if you can see that in there. I got the lip showing a little bit, and then I'll get my screwdriver in there. Kind of pry it off of here. One thing you can do, let's get a shot of it here. Sometimes you can kind of slide your tire lever or your screwdriver along the edge of the rim. This one is so tight, it's being really difficult. A little too far. But you just kind of slowly go around, peeling it off. That's about all you can do. Then of course, once you get it started, it comes off pretty easy. Got our old tire now separated from the rim, and we're ready to put the new tire on. One of the techniques I found that's probably the most effective to help getting it on is you put the screwdriver in through the back side, you know, with the opposite side here, and then just get it on that lip right there. Get that up there closer. I probably got to come back this a little bit. Trying to get too far out in front. And then you just kind of go along and just keep lifting it on. You know, just move, you know, a couple, 2-3 inches or so around the rim, and then just lift it up. So now we've got one side on, back onto the rim. Now we need to put the tube back in, or if we're going to put a new tube in, you know, of course you put your new tube in. It works if you fill it up a little bit. You don't want too much air in there. I might have a little too much air in there right now. I think I'm going to drain out just a little bit more. You want to have a little bit of air that kind of helps the tube keep its shape where it's not too floppy. These ones are puncture resistant tubes. So there's that slimy goo inside, because we have a lot of thorns and stuff out where I live. So this helps quite a bit to have those puncture resistant tubes. But yeah, so now we'll just replace the tube. Of course, first thing you want to do is, let's see if we can get it into the camera frame here. There we go. You find your valve hole, and then we'll stick that end in first. And then you can, there we go. And then you can either grab it with your fingers and pull it through, or I don't know. I like to use my trusty needle nose pliers, grab a hold of it, and yank it on through. And of course you want to be careful not to mess up the threads on the valve, so once you get it through where you can grab the rubber part of the stem, let's see if we can show that here. I got the shadow, but once you can, grab that rubber part and pull it on through. And then you just go back and stuff the tube inside the tire. And if any of you are familiar with changing tubes, you'll know how to do this. This is easy stuff. Get the tube all in there nice and flush inside the rim, and then we're ready to reseat the other side of the tire. Now I like to start by using the tire levers because they don't have that sharp edge like the screwdriver that can puncture your tube. So that's the way I like to start. And then you can kind of use your hand. Once you get the first edge started, you can just kind of muscle it, pry it around. And then you'll hit this point, and this is where I had some trouble before. You hit this point where things get really tight and you can't really muscle it on there anymore. So now what you need to do when it gets really tight like this, you need to have something that you can use. You can use the screwdriver, although I don't completely recommend using the screwdriver for this. You can use it to get pressure on a really small area here to push this in. Get it on the lip, but what I like to use more is the handle of the hammer here, and I can push on this, and you got to get just the right spot where you get the pressure just right, where you can get that lip of the tire over the lip of the rim. This isn't exactly a fast process, but it does work. There we go. Alright, and there it is. Now all you got to do is put some air in it, put the tire back on your bike, and you're good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you found it helpful, and if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we'll be seeing you next time. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you later.